What makes a man unhappy is the fact that he wants to be happy. This reflection by Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the most controversial philosophers in history, offers a harsh but enlightening perspective on human existence. At first glance, it may seem pessimistic and is often misunderstood, yet it hides a precious invitation to observe reality for what it is, without illusions, and to face it with greater awareness. His philosophy, in addition to highlighting the difficulties of life, invites profound reflections on the human condition. It does not focus on finding easy answers, but rather on uncovering uncomfortable truths that, if accepted, can transform one's personal perspective. But why, according to Schopenhauer, is life so tied to this continuous cycle of dissatisfaction and pain? And above all, what can we learn from such an apparently pessimistic vision? This video aims to answer these questions, showing how the thoughts of this extraordinary philosopher hide profound insights to better understand and face one's life. Enjoy. Schopenhauer was born in 1788 in Danzig, now Gdansk, Poland, and lived in a period of profound historical, political, and cultural change. His life and thought were influenced by a context marked by the Industrial Revolution, the Napoleonic Wars, and the decline of the Enlightenment, a time in which old paradigms clashed with new emerging realities. He was born into a wealthy family, but did not have a happy childhood. He lost his father prematurely and found himself with a distant mother, more interested in social life than in the well-being of her son. This context deeply marked his character, pushing him to take refuge in study and reflection. His entire youth was marked by the cultural ferment of the time. The Enlightenment, with its faith in reason and progress, was giving way to Romanticism, which emphasized emotion, nature, and subjectivity. This ideological clash played a crucial role in the development of his thought, which from a young age demonstrated an inclination for the profound investigation of human nature and the world. After a brief period of economic studies, undertaken to please his mother, he immersed himself in philosophy, which became the focus of his life. He attended the University of Göttingen, where he was influenced by the thought of Plato, Aristotle, and especially Immanuel Kant, whose works represented a fundamental turning point in his intellectual development. Furthermore, he found inspiration in Eastern philosophies, mainly Buddhism and Hinduism, introducing ideas that were little known to the European philosophical scene until then. This fusion of Western and Eastern philosophy allowed him to create a unique worldview in which will and desire were analyzed as central forces of existence. During this tumultuous period, he developed a disillusioned view of reality, which led him to criticize the rationalism of the Enlightenment and the optimism associated with progress. According to him, history was not a path towards a better future, but a continuous repetition of conflicts and suffering, fueled by the will to live, a blind and irrational force that pushes every being to desire without rest. In 1818, he published his main work, The World as Will and Representation, in which he expounded his philosophical system. The book, however, went largely unnoticed, overshadowed by the dominance of more popular thinkers such as Hegel, who embodied dialectical optimism and faith in progress. Schopenhauer, in contrast, offered a vision that rejected any promise of lasting happiness, seeing life as a cycle of unfulfilled desires and inevitable suffering. This failure fueled his contempt for academia and his contemporaries, strengthening his resolve to live a secluded life, away from the spotlight. But he never stopped writing and deepening his thought. It was only in the last years of his life that he gained the recognition he deserved. His ideas began to be appreciated by thinkers and artists, such as Friedrich Nietzsche and Richard Wagner, who found in his analysis a source of inspiration for their works. Schopenhauer died in 1860, leaving a philosophical legacy that continues to influence modern thought. His pessimism, which at first glance may seem nihilistic, is actually an invitation to look at life with clearer eyes and to find meaning despite its difficulties. After this overview, it is time to delve into the heart of his thought with 9 of his precious reflections that still resonate today and make him a timeless thinker, capable of offering profound insights to better understand life and ourselves. If you like, subscribe to the channel so you don't forget about us, and if you also leave a like, you would help us to continue the creation of this content. Thanks for the precious support. Let's start with the first reflection that emerges from his thought. This invites us to free ourselves from the weight of other people's judgment. How many times do we do something not because we truly want it, but to please others? This constant need for approval generates anxiety, insecurity, and often a feeling of emptiness. He suggested avoiding living to meet other people's expectations and focusing on what truly brings inner peace. This is a particularly timely lesson. Today, with social media amplifying constant comparison, appearance risks getting the better of authenticity. But living according to your own feelings without being too influenced by others is a choice of freedom and authenticity. The second reflection focuses on suffering, an inevitable part of the human experience. Here he was not inviting us to ignore pain, but to understand it and accept it as an inevitable reality. This approach recalls Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism, which see suffering as an opportunity for internal growth. Rather than running away from pain or trying to eliminate it at all costs, he suggested looking it in the face, accepting it for what it is, a natural aspect of existence that, if faced with courage and clarity, can transform itself into a tool for awareness. It is precisely in the acceptance of pain that one can find a new perspective, a way to appreciate moments of respite and give a more authentic meaning to life itself. Furthermore, he believed that suffering could teach humility and compassion, 2 qualities that help not only improve the relationship with oneself, but also with others. Recognizing pain as an integral part of existence makes one more capable of understanding and accepting the difficulties of others, building deeper and more authentic bonds. The third reflection concerns the perception of reality. Schopenhauer believed that what one sees is never objective reality, but a personal construction shaped by desires, senses, and intellect. Everyone looks at the world through their own filter, made up of experiences, emotions, and beliefs. This means that what appears real to one person can be completely different to another. Understanding that every vision is partial helps you not to take everything too personally and to look at situations from multiple perspectives. Recognizing these filters is the first step to better understand yourself and consequently make more informed decisions. The fourth reflection explores the role of desires in life. For him, the will to live constantly pushes you to desire something new, creating an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. You desire a goal, you achieve it, and immediately a new need arises. It's like running on a wheel that never stops. You are always in motion, but without reaching true peace. Happiness, in this perspective, is nothing more than a temporary illusion, a moment of respite between one desire and the next. Reflecting on this mechanism can help us ask ourselves if what we really desire is indispensable or if it is just a way to fill a void. The fifth lesson focuses on the importance of rediscovering simple pleasures. We live in a society that celebrates ambition, success, and great achievements. But Schopenhauer reminds us that true serenity is often found in the little things. An enthralling book, a walk immersed in nature, a melody that touches the heart. These are moments of peace that do not require immense sacrifices or great resources. Learning to enjoy what is simple helps to escape the spiral of incessant desire and rediscover the beauty of the present moment. The sixth is about the importance of health. He argued that physical and mental well-being were essential to living a happy life, more important than wealth or fame. 9/10 of happiness depends on health, he wrote. This simple but essential idea invites us to consider how much time we dedicate to the care of our bodies and minds, compared to often irrelevant material goals. The seventh lesson delves into the relationship between will and intellect. According to him, the will, irrational and instinctive, guides many of our daily actions, while the intellect tries to give them a rational justification. This separation can explain why we sometimes make choices that don't seem entirely logical. Recognizing this dynamic helps us not to judge ourselves too harshly and to understand that not everything is under the control of reason. It is an invitation to live with greater awareness and acceptance of our own limits. The eighth reflection is also deeply linked to Eastern philosophy. Buddhism and Hinduism, with their teachings on detachment from desires and acceptance of suffering, offer practical tools to face life with balance. In these traditions, there is a message that Schopenhauer finds extremely significant. Pain and desires must not dominate existence, but can be observed with detachment without being overwhelmed. This approach invites an inner serenity that comes from understanding rather than from struggle. In the ninth reflection, life is compared to a work of art. For Schopenhauer, living does not simply mean existing, but creating something unique and meaningful, just as an artist would do with his work. Each day becomes a brushstroke on a canvas. Some are light and bright, others darker and more intense, but all contribute to building a picture that makes sense in its entirety. It is not possible to erase pain or difficult moments, but one can learn to integrate them into one's experience, just as an artist uses shadows to give depth to his painting. Difficulties should not be seen as obstacles, but as elements that make life more authentic, more true. It also invites us to look at moments of joy, even if brief, as sparks that illuminate the picture of our existence. These moments of happiness should not be idealized or overloaded with expectations, but appreciated for what they are: moments of respite in a complex and very significant journey. As in a work of art, what matters is not the perfection of each single detail, but the harmony of the whole. Schopenhauer's philosophy, as harsh as it is, offers a unique opportunity to reflect on one's existence and find new ways to deal with it. But then, is his perspective more an attempt to understand the human condition or a warning against the illusion of happiness? If you like, give me your opinion. That's all for now. Goodbye.